Hi weaving friends, I wanted to pop in really quickly today and just chat with you about something that is coming up really soon. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful and restful, relaxing and beautiful Christmas season as I am. In case you haven't heard, the Diamond Stripe Towels Weave Along is coming up once more. Now, if you're not familiar with this Weave Along, I did run this in January this year. I almost said last year, but I'm getting my years mixed up because we haven't changed over just yet. But I ran it in January this year, 21, and it was a great success. And as we were coming towards January 2022, a lot of people were asking me, could I please run the Weave Along again? And of course, I was more than happy to agree to that. So the 2022 Weave Along will be very similar in a lot of ways to the last Weave Along, except that this time I've added a little bit of supplementary information. What happened with the last Weave Along is a lot of people wanted to weave the towels with an 8/4 cotton instead of what I use in the pattern, which is an 8/2 cotton. Now what I said to those people at the time was, yeah, that's absolutely fine. You can weave it with the 8/4 cotton, but I couldn't really advise them very accurately on what set they should be weaving at and that kind of thing. So what I did over recent weeks is that I wove my own set with 8/4 cotton, and then I was able to make extra videos and give all of that extra information for the weavers who would rather weave with the 8/4 cotton. So if you were involved in the previous Weave Along, this one will be very much the same, except it has that supplementary section that is going to help you out if you want to choose the 8/4 cotton. So about the Weave Along, it's opening on January 12th, 2022. This may be January the 11th where you live, so just be aware of that. The main thing is, if you want to be involved in the Weave Along, then you need to be on my mailing list, because that's where I send out all of my notifications to people, letting them know when the Weave Along's opening and reminding them that that's coming up and all the things that are happening. So I'm going to put the link for my mailing list down below so that you can sign up to that if you're not already. So I guess if you're not familiar, you'll be wanting to know how you can participate. Well, it's run at my online weaving school, and it's based around my Diamond Stripe Towels pattern that is available on Etsy. So anyone who wants to participate in the actual Weave Along needs to purchase the pattern from my Etsy store. Again, I'll link to that down below so that you can get there really nice and easily. And then when it comes to the actual Weave Along opening in January, if you are already a member of the online weaving school, so that is if you have a monthly, 6-monthly, yearly or gold membership to the online weaving school already, then you're automatically enrolled in the Weave Along and you can choose whether to take part or not, but there's no further cost to you. The actual Weave Along component is free. If you're not a member of the online weaving school, you can still participate in the Weave Along, and it will just be, in addition to the pattern cost, will be an extra $5 US to participate. I've kept the costs for this as low as possible because this was such a fun and active Weave Along earlier in the year that I wanted to make that available to as many people as possible once again. So a little bit about the actual pattern. For this project, we used 2 Heddles to weave a twill pattern for the towels. So you might be wondering, is this a beginner's project? Is it suitable for beginners? And I would say no, it's not suitable for absolute beginners. If you are, say you're a newer weaver and you've done quite a few projects by now, but you've only done 1 Heddle, or you might have done a Heddle and a pickup stick, or you know, some of the more basic techniques like that, then what I would suggest for you is that you enroll first in my 2 Heddles class. This is one of my most popular classes, and it shows you a bunch of different things that you can do by weaving with 2 Heddles. I think it's really beneficial for going onto a project like these towels because it lets you practice the concept. In the 2 Heddle class, we just work on a sampler. There's no actual project for the class, so it's very achievable, and you can basically have a lot of time and space to just play around and get used to using two Heddles and get an idea of the things that you can do with it. Then when you come to a project like these towels, then it's not unfamiliar, and you won't find the threading and the weaving sequences as challenging as if you came straight to this project from not having used two Heddles at all before. So if you think you would like to have a look at that two Heddles class, I'll also link to that down below. The towels are made on a rigid Heddle loom, and the whole weave along, all of the videos are all for rigid Heddle loom. However, I have had table and floor loom weavers go through this weave along as well. You can absolutely do that, but again, not for an absolute beginner, because you're going to need to know your way around your table or floor loom in order to be able to weave this pattern. I do provide the pattern draft in the weave along for multi-shaft weavers, but I don't provide the actual instructions for how to make them on a multi-shaft loom. I've also had rigid Heddle weavers ask me, can I set this up with Heddle rods or pickup sticks instead of the additional Heddle? My answer is yes, absolutely you can, as long as, again, you already know how to do that. You're familiar with that concept of how to take what I'm doing with the two Heddles and translate it into using the Heddle rods and the pickup sticks. Again, I'm not providing instructions for that. So one of the challenges for me is that whenever I present a class or a weave along, a technique, whatever it is, I always have people asking me, how can I do that in another way? And that's fine, I don't mind people asking, but as long as you realize that I can't do everything, I can't cater each class to each individual exactly. There are going to be some classes that will suit you and the way that you want to learn and the equipment that you have, and there'll be others that won't. So I'm totally happy for you to take the pattern and go your own way with it, but I'm not going to be videoing extra instructions and all of that for this particular pattern. I've also had some weavers ask me, can I make this on a smaller loom? The weave along is filmed on my 24-inch Ashford rigid Heddle loom, and people ask me, can I make it on a smaller loom? Yes, you can, on a 16-inch, whatever. Your towels will be narrower, so as long as you understand that, it's absolutely fine. And also I have included some supplementary information within the weave along for if you do have a smaller loom and still want to participate. Another thing that I've had a lot of people ask me is, can I still participate if I'm not home at the opening time of the weave along? And the answer is yes, definitely you can. There's no deadline with completing your towels or anything like that. It is fun to be able to, weave your towels along with the whole group. That's kind of inspiring. Everyone builds each other up and we can all troubleshoot at the same time. However, if you're away in January, I know at least some people will be, you can enroll in the class and complete the weave along in your own time. That's absolutely fine. There are no live classes within this weave along. It's all pre-filmed, so you can work through at your own pace. You don't need to be at your computer at a certain time. It's just too difficult to do any live classes because my students are all over the world, spread from here to there and everywhere, and it's just impossible to find a time that's going to suit everyone. So I pre-record everything, and then you can work through it at your own pace and in your own time. If you participated in the last weave along, whether you are a member or a non-member, if you're still a member, then you will still have access to the weave along. And if you previously purchased the class as a non-member, then you'll have access again. So you can join in this round without having to pay anything extra. As long as you've got your pattern and you've already purchased the class, you just hop straight in. There is a Facebook group associated with this weave along, and you'll receive the link to that when you enroll in the class. You do not have to participate in the Facebook group. It's just an extra support group for those who want it. You can leave comments and see other students' comments and comment on those. You can attach photos. We can have a full discussion actually over at the online weaving school. So if you're not on social media, it's absolutely fine. You'll still get to participate with the group. You can access all this information and more. I do give a few details for yarn and everything on my website, and I'm going to give you the link to that down below so you can go and check that out. Have a look at the yarns that we'll be using, have a look at the extra details if you need to. to decide if this is right for you. I've got here a little stack of some of the towels that I have woven previously from this weave along, and I will just quickly give you a glimpse of how those look. You can see the beautiful diamond pattern there, and these two here are the ones that I wove recently using the 8/4 cotton. So for this towel I use 8/4 for the warp and for the weft, and then for this one I particularly wanted to use this yellow for the weft, and so it was an 8/2 cotton and I doubled that in the weft, so that is another option. I include all of these details in the weave along so that you can be well informed and decide what you want to do for your own towels. So I think that's about all I have to tell you about the weave along coming up. Check out all of the links down below for the things that I mentioned during this video. And remember to hop onto the mailing list so that you can receive all the information about the weave along. And the opening date is the 12th of January 2022. And the weave along will be open for enrollments for about a week and then will close up again, unless you have a membership and then you have permanent access anytime. If you have any particular questions regarding the weave along, you can leave them down below. You can leave them on my website, or you can email me directly. However it is, I'll be happy to help you out with those. So I really hope that you can join in with this weave along. It was a lot of fun last time and I'm really looking forward to it. Until next time, happy weaving.